Man, I'm not gonna lie, the trailer to this movie creeped me out. Just the concept of being spied on by something you can't even see. Timelessly creepy. No one likes being spied on by unseen forces. Which brings me to the sponsor of this video. This video is brought to you by NordVPN. Nord's a VPN service that strives to make our traversing of this digital hellscape a little safer. Free from online threats, censorship, surveillance. Like if you go to or click on a site you're unfamiliar with, download that file that you're not sure about, but you've heard it's the only way to get that perfect retro gaming homebrew. Trust me, I've been there. It's a process, but Nord's threat protection's got your back. It scans for viruses, malware, blocks it if it looks suspicious, and the dark reality of the digital underbelly that is the dark web is that our information already being out there is a real threat. Possibly already being bought, sold, traded, tapped like game cards. Nord continually scans this Mordor of the internet known as the dark web for that activity to see if your information's already out there being sold. Because you don't want to wait on that. It's best to be proactive when it comes to your identity and information. So click the link below or go to nordvpn.com/Johns. Users can get a huge discount with the purchase of a 2-year plan plus 4 extra months. All backed by Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, a deal so good, it made my hair shorter. All right, watchers. So The Watchers is a Shyamalan film. No, not M. Night. This would be Ishana Shyamalan, his daughter. Ishana Night Shyamalan on the poster, Ishana Shyamalan on IMDb. Whichever one she prefers, we'll go with that one. The premise is generally the intriguing premise you saw in the trailer. Dakota Fanning plays a lady whose car breaks down. She ends up in these creepy woods. Then she sees a lady who's like, quick, for your safety, run into this really ominous bedroom building with floor-to-ceiling windows. Great, now you're gonna get watched by, that's right, The Watchers. And the setup really hooked me. It's intriguing. You feel as lost as the characters. It's a world of unknowns with rules that come from who knows where. Don't go outside at night when it's first nightfall. Face the window. Don't go near those creepy holes in the forest that look like Morlocks from the Time Machine live down there. In a situation like this of such chaos and unknowns, rules like that are oddly comforting. They lead to more questions, but for right now, comforting. But this movie excels when it's playing up the concept of unknowns. The fear of the unknown. Not seeing is scarier than seeing. Every time you hear things rummaging outside at night, your imagination just starts filling in those gaps. It's a powerful cinematic tactic. When this movie was playing up, it was playing it up well. What is it? Is it bullshit? Is there something actually out there? As long as they can keep this mystery going, this should be pretty intriguing. They play up some of the camera work. You know, you see something scurrying around out in the trees. You can't make out what it is. A close-up of someone's face in which the depth of field, the background is so blurry, but again, you see shadows moving. That keeps the possibilities open and endless. And I don't know about you, but that makes my brain go, okay, what's the worst thing possible? That's definitely what we're dealing with. Specifically, what does that mean? I don't know, worst thing possible. That's the point. You don't have to know, and there's something beautiful about that. I also like the musical score, an element of film that is so important, and a lot of times I just get the word vomiting. I don't script these things out, so sometimes I do a flyby when it comes to the music. Trying to be more conscious of that, but I thought the musical score in this movie was proper eerie. It sounded a little like Bram Stoker's Dracula meets Joker. A lot of them eerie cellos. I do wish more of the support crew stood out. It's a cast of 4 people. Well, 4 people and a parrot. The parrot upstages half of the cast. That's an element I feel like in the book that probably landed better. This is based off of a book of the same name. There's actually a lot coming up, no spoilers, but there are quite a few elements in the second half of the movie that probably landed better in the book. I would hope, I would think. But I just see a missed opportunity there. If these side characters were supposed to die horribly in some sort of slasher flick or Final Destination, that would be fine. But that's not the case. These are the characters you're with for the movie. Or just showcase Dakota Fanning in exposition lady. Sure. In a world of all things not being equal, this is not a one-to-one comparison, but if we're talking about 4 characters being held in a confined space for reasons unknown by beings unknown, there is at least a similarity or two between this movie and that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Allegiance, in which Jean-Luc Picard and 3 others are being held in this confined space that they can't leave by who knows who for reasons unknown. They gotta work together to figure it out and get out of the situation. Did that episode do characters, character relations, and character tensions better and in less time? Yes, but it's TNG, it does everything better. But to the point, it feels like a waste to have these characters in this intimate survival setting in which they can't escape these woods, they have to stay in this little space, and we really don't get the sense that, hey, we know these people that well. But as I said, the strength of this movie was when it was playing up the unknown. Well, at a point you know, and it lost me. To be clear and fair, great in concept, but in execution, it just didn't have that payoff. It even ended up feeling a bit cheesy. And it all made for a package that just felt tonally uneven. Also, I felt like the movie was wrapping up and I was like, this is an hour into the movie. This is either the shortest movie ever or it's one of those movies that ends 2 or 3 times. I oddly would have been more fine with the movie being absurdly short, ending an hour and 10 minutes in, than the movie limping along with an end reveal that just felt ridiculous and cartoony on execution. It was oddly Stephen King, where you're reading and you're like, this end, is this the ending? Is this for real? Actually, with this movie not having a very long runtime, am I saying the movie feels like it has an extended ending that feels oddly out of place? Or am I saying this movie actually feels like 2 movies that have been smashed together, only one of which you were pitched in the trailer? Question for the philosophers, I guess, but upon reflection, I do have another positive to dish out for this film. It is not too long. That's appreciated. In the end, man, this movie is a mixed bag. It started out intriguing. I'll even say it started out strong. Fear of the unknown being played up, a small cast of characters being trapped in this small setting, in the middle of this situation that feels too big to handle. Which makes it such a bummer that that wasn't played up to an optimum degree. Fear and phobia thriller aside, some characters were so small they felt insignificant. And what was big felt too big. It felt too big for the film, it felt ridiculous. And the big bummer is that second part is the note this movie leaves you with. It's what I took home with me. Instead of thinking of the cool thriller elements, I was thinking about the conveniences. The predictable moments in a movie like this that should not have had predictable moments. It's the characters I ended up not caring about. My one concern was, they're not gonna eat the parrot, are they? Fuck the rest of them. I wanna know the bird's okay. But it's kind of interesting to me. You look at this movie with its strengths, weaknesses, how it all plays out, and it all feels very Shyamalan. I say, if you're gonna watch this movie and you're like, I feel like the movie's ending right now, take that as your ending and leave. Otherwise, you're gonna be left with a movie that'll be a better time. If you're drunk. Yeah, now it's a party. First of the watchers, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.